The Kremlin's ongoing war against Ukraine has been marked by frequent and significant long-range missile attacks on Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. A recent report called Putin's Missile War by AESA revealed that these Russian missile strikes in 2022 caused substantial damage to Ukraine's economy and infrastructure. However, they failed to achieve the desired strategic outcomes sought by Moscow. Despite this, Russia has persisted in launching regular missile attacks throughout 2023, targeting both civilian and military targets in Ukraine. The focus and intensity of these strikes have varied over time, as has the quality of the missiles used. It has become evident that Russia's missile stockpile is seemingly inexhaustible, making it unrealistic to expect them to ever run out of missiles. Despite facing sanctions and export controls, Russia appears capable of producing or acquiring the long-range strike capabilities needed to inflict significant damage on Ukraine's people, economy, and military. Although Ukraine's air defenses have performed admirably under challenging circumstances, the Russian military continues to search for gaps and weaknesses to exploit in order to gain an advantage. There is no simple solution to this problem. Sanctions and export controls can, at best, limit Russia's access to high-quality missile assets. The most reliable countermeasure is sustained Western support for Ukrainian air defense forces throughout the conflict. By consistently providing air defenses in the foreseeable future, lives can be saved, the costs of future reconstruction reduced, and the war potentially ended more swiftly by enabling Ukraine to mount a counteroffensive against Russia's superior air power. Additionally, supplying air defenses has compelled Western countries to enhance their production of these systems, which could have long-term benefits for their defense readiness. In May, Russia resumed its long-range drone and missile attacks on Ukrainian cities, following a period of relative calm in March and April. This recent surge in activity targeted a seemingly broader and less predictable range of targets compared to the previous focused campaign aimed at collapsing Ukraine's electric grid during the winter. For instance, Russia attempted to destroy one of Ukraine's Patriot batteries, a highly expensive weapon system provided by the US and Germany to protect Kyiv. Moscow likely believed that the destruction of a Patriot battery would deter further Western military aid. However, this attack strategy backfired as the Patriot battery emerged almost unharmed. Just recently, the Patriot battery successfully intercepted 100% of the 34 Iskander and Kinzhal quasi-ballistic missiles fired by Russia at Kyiv. These were missiles that Moscow had once claimed were immune to air and missile defenses. In March 2022, there were speculations that Russia's supply of precision-guided missiles was depleting. While these reports may have had some accuracy, it appears that Russia swiftly expended the portion of its long-range missiles initially allocated to its special military operation. Nonetheless, Russia has maintained a consistent barrage of missile strikes on Ukraine by reallocating munitions from other theaters and drawing from its strategic reserves. Furthermore, Russia has repurposed various surface-to-air and anti-ship missiles for land attack roles. The evidence suggests that Russia has also continued to produce missiles throughout the war, with most, if not all, of its current inventory of cruise missiles being manufactured after the conflict began. The depletion of pre-war missile stockpiles has influenced the nature of Russian missile attacks in the current conflict. There has been a shift in the composition of Russian missile strikes, moving away from high-end systems like cruise missiles and towards cheaper, less capable low-end systems such as the Shahed-136 one-way attack munitions. During the last 3 months of 2023, when Russia targeted Ukraine's electric grid, around 40% of the long-range projectiles fired were Shahed-130s. Since April, this percentage has increased to 61%. Compared to cruise and ballistic missiles, Shahed 130s are easier to intercept and more vulnerable to less advanced defenses like the German-made Flakpanzer Gepard and other gun-based systems. Additionally, Shahed 130s have a smaller warhead weight, resulting in less damage if they manage to penetrate defenses. However, the decline in the quality of Russian long-range strike salvos is unlikely to continue. Instead, the overall composition of Russian strike packages is expected to stabilize as their missile use becomes limited by production capacity. Nevertheless, it is improbable that Russia's production of higher-end cruise and ballistic missiles will ever reach zero. Despite Western sanctions and export controls on critical microelectronic components, Russia has managed to find alternative ways to continue manufacturing missiles. Ukrainian intelligence estimated in May that Russia currently produces around 60 cruise missiles, 5 Iskander ballistic missiles, and 2 Kinzhals per month. President Zelensky also noted in June that Ukraine continues to discover Western-made microelectronic components in the wreckage of Russian missiles, suggesting that these components may be reaching Russia through third-party countries such as China. The United States and Europe can and should explore ways to further restrict the supply of dual-use technology components to Russia. However, it is unrealistic to expect complete deprivation of these components necessary for missile production. Sanctions and export controls have historically proven ineffective in preventing determined states, especially a country as large and economically connected as Russia, from proliferating weapons. What they can do is increase the difficulty and cost, thereby limiting the number of missiles produced. Although the Kremlin desires to produce more missiles, export controls can help curtail that potential. Nevertheless, Russia will maintain the capacity to manufacture missiles and drones and will continue to use them against Ukraine until the war concludes. Active air defense remains the most reliable defense against Russian missile attacks, requiring ongoing support and replenishment from Ukraine's international partners. Fortunately, Ukraine's partners seem to recognize the importance of air defense and are responding accordingly. Recent military aid packages from the United States have included additional rounds for NASAMS and Patriot, Avenger air defense and Stinger missiles, and Hawk air defense systems. The United States is also supplying Ukraine with older AIM-7 Sparrow missiles, which have been made compatible with Ukraine's Buk M2 systems. While Ukraine possesses an ample number of launchers for the Buk M2 systems, interceptor missiles are scarce. Just recently, the United Kingdom unveiled a new multinational fund aimed at procuring numerous short and medium-range air defense systems for Ukraine. The deliveries under this initiative will primarily consist of Soviet-era missiles. The UK had previously announced in mid-May that it would provide additional air defenses to Ukraine, without specifying the exact type. Recently, French President Macron revealed the deployment of a French/Italian-provided SAMPT system in Ukraine, safeguarding critical installations and lives. Germany fulfilled its promise by delivering the second of 4 IRIS-T SLM air defense systems in April, accompanied by an extra TRML-4D radar. Moreover, on June 24, Germany declared its intention to supply Ukraine with an additional 45 Gepard Flakpanzer systems, more than doubling Ukraine's current inventory. These contributions to Ukraine, while depleting national munition stockpiles in the short term, also serve to fortify the production lines of crucial air defense systems. Sustained production lines for these intricate systems could enhance long-term defense readiness for the United States and its allies, in addition to mitigating risks associated with immediate drawdowns. For example, the U.S. Army anticipates a 50% increase in Stinger production by 2025. As part of this expansion, a critical Stinger component has been redesigned to address existing supply chain challenges. The United States is also ramping up production of Patriot systems, witnessing substantial growth in NASAMS production, and the United Kingdom recently announced the resumption of Starstreak air defense system production. Looking ahead, there is no simple solution to the Russian missile threat. Russia will persist in producing and acquiring missiles and one-way attack munitions, employing them against Ukraine. While sanctions and export controls can make these endeavors more difficult and costly for Russia, they cannot entirely halt them. As long as the war continues, Ukraine must maintain a robust air and missile defense capability, necessitating unwavering support from the United States and its numerous international partners. To achieve this objective, Western defense industries need to scale up their capacity in various areas, ranging from air defense interceptors to precision-guided munitions. This effort will not only enable the United States to provide consistent support to help Ukraine win the war as swiftly as possible, but will also strengthen the position of the United States and its allies in deterring and defeating future threats.